All right. Now for this one, what we're going to need to do is this. We're going to distribute the 4 to each of these terms. And then we're going to distribute the -6 to each of these terms. And I'll do this problem 2 different ways. I'll do the more sort of traditional way, and then I'll do it the slick way, or the more stepwise way, and then the more slick way. So for the first distribution, this right here, 4 times x squared minus 4 times 6x plus 4 times 8. Each one of these terms is multiplied by 4. Now that's a positive x squared. So I'm going to go plus, but we're multiplying it by -6. And then we have a plus 3x also multiplied by -6. And then now we're subtracting a 5 that's multiplied by -6. So now let's go through with the multiplications. 4 times x squared, 4x squared. 4 times 6, 24x. Plus 4 times 8, 32. Then we get plus -6x squared plus -18x. And then we're going to subtract -30. -6 times 5 is -30. Oh, keep this up here. Now I'm going to resolve some of these minuses. Now this first one here, okay, this first 3 were nothing really to resolve. Now this is plus a negative. Plus a negative is the same as subtraction. So this will become -6x squared. Plus a negative again, this will become -18x. Finally, double negative becomes positive. And so now we're going to combine like terms. First, type x squared. So there's an x squared, and there's an x squared, and notice I'm attaching the sign to it. So if it's positive, it stays positive, but if there's a subtraction or a minus before it, that subtraction or minus goes with that term. Now for the x terms, and again, we'll attach the minus to this one too, minus 24x and minus 18x. Lastly, the constant terms, there's a 32, 30. So combining 4x squared minus 6, there's the x squared. And then I'll just put a plus in here for the next term. It's going to be -24 minus 18. And separating things by plus is usually harmless. Just want to be careful. 32 plus 30 for the constant term. So we've done the squares, we've done the x term, and then we've now done the type constant. So again, 4 minus 6, that's going to be that -2x squared. -24 degrees, and it just got 18 degrees colder. That's -34, -42. And then this, we'll add these two to get 62. And again, we've got another one of those, adding a negative will turn into subtraction. And there we go. So let me show you sort of the slick method. With the slick method, we're just going to multiply the positive and the negative right away. So 4 times x squared, well, that's 4x squared. 4 times negative 6, negative 24. So negative 24x. 4 times 8, 32. Now here, negative 6 times x squared is negative 6x squared. Negative 6 times 3x, negative 18x. Negative 6 times minus 5, double negative, becomes plus 30. And I'd usually put these just continuing right out here, but ran out of space. So now x squared terms. Again, we include the sign. So we get 4 minus 6 x squared. Taking care of those. Now for the x terms, there's this and there's this. And again, I could just put a plus here for the next one. It's harmless to do that. Or you can just sort of combine them and get a negative number and then just subtract if you wanted to. And then finally, 32 plus 30. Or minus 2x squared plus negative 42x plus 62, or negative 2x squared minus 42x plus 62. And again, a trick people will typically do, they'll combine these as they go. So for example, I'll run through this also. Another way they'll do this, again, we'll do our distributions. They'll sometimes do when they feel comfortable. So x squared terms, 4x squared minus 6x squared, negative 2x squared. Negative 24x combines with negative 18x, that's negative 42x. And then lastly, constant terms, those will add up to positive 62. And we're done. So either method that you feel comfortable with, go with that. So that's it. Any questions? Let me know.